Murray, let me just get your thoughts on the Wild Card weekend, which is interesting to me, in which we may have a situation if the Redskins, who I think are currently favored by a point, get less betting on them, in which the Wild Card teams on the road are favored in all 4 games. What do you think is going to go on this weekend?
All right, well, I'm going to boldly tread in and make my predictions, and then we can look at the games. I'm choosing Kansas City over Houston. I'm choosing Pittsburgh over Cincinnati. I'm choosing Seattle over Minnesota. And I'm choosing Green Bay over Washington.
Oh, Green Bay is the one underdog and home team. No, Green Bay is on the road too. So you're picking all 4 wild cards.
All 4 road teams, yep, that's right.
What's your thought?
Where do you come out? Well, I'm impressed with the way Andy Reid has brought Kansas City together.
Let me just for the listeners, I have to say who don't know us, Murray and I are both from the Philadelphia area, and Reid obviously was coach for the Eagles for a while. I just had to put that in there. Go on.
Right, and he had a very bad final year, although it may well have been because of a lot of personal problems involving the death of his son and other things. But I think he's more than proven himself as a top-flight NFL coach. He hasn't shown himself to be a great in-game coach. He seems to be able to put together very good teams, and he turned the Eagles around. I think he's done a great job with Kansas City this year. So I'm going with him. I like Roethlisberger. And I think Pittsburgh is a winning franchise historically, and I'm going to pick them, although Cincinnati is certainly tough and had a great year. Seattle is maybe the most feared team out there, the way they have come along. And Russell Wilson is breaking all kinds of records every week. They've been there. They came very close last year, as we remember, and they won the year before, so you can't ignore them. Minnesota has, of course, a very strong running back. Sometimes their quarterback makes bad errors, as he did last week.
Yeah, and remember also, the game is going to be 1 degree, and Teddy Bridgewater, Minnesota's quarterback, is from Miami. I should add that your wife is sort of from Minnesota. Was she born in Minnesota and grew up in Iowa, or the other way around? She was born in Minnesota?
Other way around. Iowa for 10 years, and then the Minnesota through high school.
Right, okay, that's right.
And you're absolutely right. They're predicting maybe the coldest NFL game ever. They're saying 1 degree, which will not be great for the players, but think of the poor fans that are sitting there during the 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but they can drink. They can sneak bourbon in under all those layers. But it's going to be weird. I mean, the factor is you may want to run the ball, and Minnesota has one of the best running backs of all time. As great, and by the way, though, Seattle has beast mode coming back, and who knows how long he's been healthy, and they've just been holding him for the playoffs.
Right. That's
but Peterson's going to be
Green
tough.
Bay, I'm just picking them in large part because I don't think Washington is for real, although Cousins came on pretty strong in the last part of the season. And how can you go against Aaron Rodgers, really? I mean, he's one of the top quarterbacks. He doesn't have a great receiving core.
That's how you can go against him. And he doesn't have a great offensive line. A depleted receiving core and a terrible offensive line that's also depleted will ruin anyone. Just ask Tom Brady, who now has an injury.
Well, we saw what happened to him when his line was not looking so good in the game against Miami last week.
By the way, the Minnesota game is going to be just so weird. And, I'm in Florida right now. And it's going to be, I may have to, if the weather is halfway decent in Central Florida, have to go someplace where I can get an umbrella drink, though I'm not that close to the beach right now. But it's going to be weird. Oh, by the way, we have to add, the game is not at night. It's a 1 p.m. game. So imagine what it would have been like if it were scheduled for Saturday night.
Right.
This is Sunday at 1 o'clock. By the way, I disagree. I think people are judging the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game based on the fact that Cincinnati is, the Bungles, historically a loser franchise that's been forced out of the playoff for 4 years. Pittsburgh has won the most Super Bowls. They've done it before. Pittsburgh does not have a great defense. Cincinnati does. We're judging it by past Steelers team, but let's face it, Mean Joe Green is not relevant to this game.
No, good point. And of course, that team with Terry Bradshaw that won roughly 4 Super Bowls is nowhere in sight now. But Roethlisberger has won some Super Bowls, and he finds a way to win. I really like Big Ben.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on that one. What game are we missing? I think KC wins easily. I mean, just Houston has a great defense, but I just can't see a team winning with Brandon Weeden, and KC has also won 10 in a row.
Right.
I mean, at a certain point.
So do we agree on 3 out of 4, or are you picking Washington?
I'm picking Seattle. I think Seattle's going to blow them out somehow. They're just that good. They were holding back this year. The defense isn't quite what it was 2 years ago, but as opposed to Pittsburgh, where it's only the last 2-3 years that really matter in football with all the turnover that much with personnel, but the same guys for Seattle are good. The cold may be a factor, but they've been utterly dominant in December and January the last 3 years. Remember, it's only a quirk. They almost had a phenomenal comeback, but somehow let down on special teams, let Atlanta win 3 years ago. They would have possibly been looking at their 4th straight Super Bowl opportunity this year. I mean, they've been that good since Wilson has been in there, and the guy just is a winner. I don't know what to say other than that.
He is, and he's remarkable because to look at him, he doesn't have the look of a great NFL quarterback. He's a little bit on the small side. He is fast, but when you match him up against a Tom Brady or something, but he gets results. His passing average, his running average is incredible. I saw some statistic. He's the first person to have so many 1,000 yards this and so many 100 yards running, and just a tremendous year.
I didn't give my prediction. I actually think Washington beats Green Bay fairly easily. Green Bay is just that beat up. You saw what Arizona did to them. They destroyed them the week before Arizona got destroyed at home by Seattle. It's just not... Green Bay is just too beat up. Injuries do matter. It's a shame that who the best team of the year is often decided by who is the least injured at that point of the year. But the reality is Washington's relatively healthy right now. Deshaun Jackson can do a lot. And Green Bay's beat up. Even though I don't think Washington is that good, they were beating up on terrible Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants team, and they played a last-place schedule. But they're healthy right now, and Green Bay is not. And I think Washington wins fairly comfortably. And then gets killed the next week.
All right, so we agree to disagree. We agree on 2, and let's see how things are. We'll talk early next week and see who buys the other a cup of coffee.
And I'm looking forward to talking some non-sports stuff with you too, Murray. Okay, thanks for your time.
All right, have a good evening. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.